Hello everyone, today we'll be going over section 3.2, adding and subtracting rational numbers. So to add or subtract rational decimals, you will need to line up the decimal point. Okay, so let's start with our first example. Negative 4.06 plus 1.83. So if you don't remember how to do this, let's recall from the integer review. That if you're adding two numbers with the same sign, you're gonna add the numbers and then keep the sign. And if you're adding two numbers with different signs, you're gonna subtract the numbers and then keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, so here by bigger I mean the number further from 0. So basically, if you ignore the signs, which one's bigger? Okay, well, let's do this first example then. So it's negative 4.06 plus 1.83. The first number is negative, the second number is positive, so they are different signs. We're going to subtract the numbers and keep the sign of the bigger number. So the first number is negative 4.06, the second one is 1.83. Which one is further from 0? Well, I know negative 4.06 is further, so my sign will be negative. And so let's subtract them first and keep the negative sign. So 4.06 minus 1.83. You guys can see that the decimals line up. And so 6 minus 3 is 3. 10 minus 8 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2.23. And the sign of the number further from 0 is negative. So the answer is negative 2.23. Okay, so another way to look at this question will be using a number line. Let me show you. So let's say this is 0, this is negative 4.06. And so from 0 to negative 4.06, it's represented by this orange arrow. And negative 4.06 plus 1.83. Plus 1.83 will be going to the right by 1.83 units. So then the number you're getting will be this one. This green dot will be the number you're getting. And so to find this green dot, you need to find the distance between this green dot and 0. And because the green dot is on the negative side, so your final answer will be negative. Okay? So how do I find the distance between 0 and this green dot? Well, you can see this distance is basically this part. And where did this part come from? It's the whole thing minus 1.83, right? It's the whole distance minus 1.83, and that will give me the distance of this part. And so that's why we did 4.06 minus 1.83. And so we got 2.23, and because it's on the negative side, so it's negative 2.23. Okay, that's another way to think of this question. Okay, and the next example, 4.06 minus 1.83. Okay, so again, we can use the integers review knowledge that because you're subtracting, if you don't know how to do this, we can always change them to adding the opposite. So it's negative 4.06 plus negative 1.83. And so these two numbers, they are both negative, so they have the same sign. So we're going to add the numbers and keep the sign. So again, you can line up the decimals. So 3 plus 6 is 9, 8 point, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. So the answer is 5.89. And because they're both negative, so we're going to keep the negative sign. Okay, so if you were to use the number line though, it will look like this. So let's say this is 0, this is negative 4.06. And so negative 4.06 plus negative 1.83 or minus 1.83 will be going to the left. So minus 1.83. Okay, and so you get to this new number. And so to find this number, you want the total distance between this point and 0. And so how do you find the total distance between this point to 0? Well, you can see this point is basically this distance plus the green distance altogether, right? So that's why we added 4.06 and 1.83 to get to 5.89. So this point is 5.89. And because it's on this negative side, so we add the negative in front. Okay, that's by using a number line. Okay, next example. Solve the blank. So since you guys have learned algebra last year, let's just use x to represent the blank. So let's rewrite the equation. Okay, and so to solve for x, or solve for the blank, I'll need to remove this plus 18.2. Okay, that's to isolate x. To isolate x, I'll need to remove this plus 18.2. How do I remove 18.2? Well, we can remove 18.2 by subtracting it. If I subtract 18.2, then positive 18.2 minus 18.2, these two will cancel, will become a 0, right? And so because this is an equation, equal sign is like a balance. Whatever I do to one side, I'll need to do the same thing to the other side. So I need to minus 18.2 on the right-hand side as well. So minus 18.2. Okay, so plus and minus, they will cancel. And so I have x left, x plus 0, so just x left. And then minus 18.2 is the same as minus 18.20 to 0. So 5 minus 0 is 0. And then 13 minus 2 is, 3 minus 2 is 1. And then 17 minus 8 is 9. So that's, whoops, why do I write 0 here? 5 minus 0 is 5. So 27.35 minus 18.2 is 9.15. And so x is equal to 9.15. That means this blank is 9.15. And you can check. You can check by substituting it back into the equation. So you can say 9.15 plus 18.2. We want to know if this is equal to 27.35. And so you can do this aside. 9.15 plus, oops, 18.2, 5, 3, oops, 7, so 27.35. Yeah, so left side is equal to right side. That means 9.15 is the correct answer. So that is my correct answer. I'm gonna, oops. Okay. And next question, still the same type of question, solving for the blank. And let's just use x for the blank. Okay. So we want to, again, isolate the x. So what we need to do is I need to remove this part. So now, once I've removed this, I'll have just negative x left, right? So how do I make this become a 0? Well, I'll need to add the same number. They are called 0 pairs. A negative and a positive are called 0 pairs. So think about it. -1 and the +1, if you add them together, -1 plus +1 is 0. -5 plus +5 is 0. Same for here. -16.93 plus +16.93. These two combined will become a 0. So you can cancel them out. Well, and don't forget to do the same thing on the right-hand side. So plus 16.93. And so this is canceled. And what I have left is just the negative x. So I'll write that down. Negative x is equal to. And then you're just going to add these two numbers. 1 plus 3 is 3. 9 plus 7 is 16. And then 1 plus 8 plus 6 is 15. So 1 plus 2 is 1 plus 1 is 2. So the answer is 25.60. Oh, 1 plus 3 is 4. 64. Okay. So negative x is equal to 25.64. And so I want to find x, not negative x. I need to get rid of this negative. And you guys know that whenever you don't have a number in front, it means there is a 1. It's an invisible 1. Okay, so to get rid of the negative 1, it's -1 times by x. We're going to do the reverse. We're going to do the reverse of multiplying, so dividing by -1 from both sides. And so the -1 and the -1 will cancel each other. -1 divided by -1 is 1, so it will become positive. And 25.64 divided by -1 will be -25.64. And you guys can check it by bringing it back into the equation. And substitute it for the blank. Okay, last example is a word problem. So it says, Deborah is saving to buy a stereo for $637.95, and she has saved $347.21 already. And then she will work for the next 6 weekends to earn $162.80. So she needs that much, and she has saved. She needs that much, and she has saved $347.21 and $162.80. And the question is now, how much more does she need to earn to buy the stereo? So what we want to know is the amount remaining to save. So we want to know what this is. Right? And we can write down what we know already. We know that she needs $637.95. And we also know that she has saved 347.21 already, and she will be saving 162.80. So altogether, she will have saved, if you add them up, $510.01. So this is the amount she has saved, and you know that, she will need that much. So to find the amount remaining to save, you're just gonna do, so the amount remaining will be the total need, the amount she need, and minus the amount that she have saved. So the amount she need is 637.95, and she has saved 510.01. And so if you subtract these two, it will equal to, let's calculate that. 127.94. And you guys can write a concluding statement saying that Deborah will need to earn $127.94 more to be able to buy the stereo. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. Your homework is listed up here. Please try your homework and let me know if you have any questions.